What's up, everybody? And welcome back to the Naturally Yours podcast, where we have lots of controversial topics, we have juicy conversations, and we have special guests. So, on today, I have a very special guest by the name of Brandon Gholston, who is 28 years old. He is a writer, he is a rapper, he is an artist, and he is an author. And today we are going to be getting into his book called Thinking with My D. So help me welcome Brandon.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's an honor to be here.
Thank you for being here. I'm so excited to have this conversation with you. So, how are you doing today?
I'm doing phenomenal. I can't complain at all. How about you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I have no complaints at all. I don't do no good anyway.
Yeah, ain't nobody gonna listen. Yeah.
Nope. At all. At all. So, Brendan, I pretty much gave them an introduction about yourself, but for anything that we don't know that I haven't said already, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, man. So like you said, I am 28 years old. I am originally from Atlanta, Georgia, born and raised. Rapper, singer, songwriter, producer, and I just added artist. I'm sorry, author to my repertoire. Um, and the book is I'm just thinking with my D. A lot of people are familiar with that famous song by Kevin Gates. So I titled the book the same. So yes, man.
Yes. Yes. And me personally, I am a Kevin Hart's fan. I said Kevin Hart, Kevin Gates.
Yeah.
Kevin Gates fan. So definitely am familiar with that line. So why don't you first tell us what made you become an author? What made you actually create this title for this book? What made you actually go down this path?
Um, it all started. I'm gonna be honest. Actually, I never really thought I would be an author. Um, I never thought that was gonna be something that was gonna be in the cards for me. Not because
Hmm.
I didn't think I could do it, but it just wasn't in the forefront of my mind. But honestly, just life. So I am a person who I was molested as a child, and I was exposed to sex at a very, very young age, probably by the age of 8. And
Wow.
I lost my virginity very early in life. And that caused me as an adult to be very promiscuous. And when I got a little bit older and started getting into relationships, I was doing a lot of cheating and lying and just stuff that I shouldn't have been doing. And I ended up having, due to the lack of that control, I ended up having a child with a woman I barely knew. I had known her for maybe a month. And
Really?
now that I'm a father, I don't want my
Hmm.
son following in those footsteps.
Right.
So also, um, I'm a I grew up without my father. My father, you know, my mother and my father, they was married, but they
Hmm.
separated when I was about 6.
Mm.
And my father died from prostate cancer when I was 11. So one
My
thing I noticed,
condolences.
yeah, thank you. Um, One thing I noticed in our community, in the black community, is that a lot of young boys grow up without their fathers, and it's
Yes.
usually because we look at women
Hmm.
instead of we look at them for their physical appearance and how fine they are, instead of looking at them for their maternal skills. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Right.
we choose spouses based off of that, and it usually doesn't work out well. Or we just cheating, doing a lot of cheating, and we just end up ruining things. So
Hmm.
my goal that I wanted to accomplish with the book, I really just wanted to reinstill and revamp the black male value, like the value of the black male, and reunite the black family because it's much
Yes.
needed in a society where we're constantly being torn down and stereotyped.
Yes. Yes.
So what actually geared me to write the book was with my child's mother after we separated. I noticed by me having lack of control of myself that
Hmm.
how bad I hurt her, and I
Mhm.
could tell she really cared about me. So I just didn't want to do that no more. I didn't want to do that to no other woman, and
Right.
I just I started just doing some soul searching
Mhm.
and trying to figure out like why I'm this way, and
Got you.
this was the result of it. It came into a book.
Got you. Got you. So, did you, when you said you were trying to figure out why you were this way,
Hmm.
um, did you basically, I guess, confirm it was from what happened to you when you were 8 years old?
That came later, um, because honestly, I had so when I was molested, I was probably 2 or 3.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
so I had honestly forgot about it because as a 2 or 3 year old child, you don't really remember,
Right.
and it ended up coming to me later on as I started figuring out. So it really just started with me trying to not. I was trying to be a better man. Like at the time, me and my
Mhm.
son's mother, we were still together, and she had caught me cheating a couple times, and I was trying to just do better. Now,
Right.
ultimately, it didn't work out, but it was kind of difficult for me, and I was trying to figure out why. So I ended up just sitting down and doing a lot of shadow work, and that just came. It reappeared on my spirit, and it was like,
Mhm.
wow, this could be what triggered this behavior. You see what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
um, that's kind of what that came from, and I just started seeking like methods to kind of counteract that. You know.
Got you. Got you. So I want to get into those methods in just a second, but what would you say to someone else right now that maybe another young man that's been molested and maybe he hasn't told anyone, maybe he hasn't used his voice? What would you tell them right now?
Um, you are still powerful. Take back your power. Um, a lot of
Absolutely.
times when you know boys get touched on,
Mm-hmm.
we start to feel we become very emotionally introverted.
Mm-hmm.
But when we do express our emotion, it comes out
Mm-hmm.
as rage and anger. We feel like somebody's taking something away from us. So
Gotcha.
it's okay to tell somebody, and don't let them make you feel victimized
Mm-hmm.
for for speaking your truth. Because
Right.
another thing that happens a lot in the black community is that we tend to sweep things like that under the rug, especially
Mm-hmm.
when it comes from a family member. We don't
Right.
we don't really address it the way it should be addressed, and that causes us to feel like we're not being protected.
Right.
So
Right.
definitely like take back your power, speak your truth. Don't ever let anybody make you feel guilty for speaking your truth, because your truth is your truth.
Okay.
And just walk in your purpose. I'm actually wearing a shirt that says "Walk in Your Purpose" right now. Um,
Yes, I love it. I
shout,
love it. I love
shout out.
her brand.
Yes, man. So yeah, just walking in your purpose, and
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna take some real shadow work to get over that, but just your healing process is your healing process. So can't
Right.
nobody judge your process.
Right. Absolutely. I agree with that. I agree with that. Definitely take your power back. Yes. I definitely feel you on that. So I kind of wanted to piggyback off of what you just said,
Mm,
where, the black community kinds of basically sweeps things under the rug.
mm,
Now, I haven't been actually like molested, I would say, but I've been touched
mm,
as a younger girl by a grown man. And I never knew like how far like that like hurt me to the
mm.
point to like where I didn't feel like nobody was protecting me, because I told my dad about it, told my mom about it, and it was like nobody did anything.
Right.
And then like when my dad went to go down or went to talk to the man, and they walked down the street, when they came back, laughing,
Mm,
I felt like a smack in my face. Like I felt
right.
like, what's going on? Like that's not the reaction I would think you would be having with this guy after he just touched me inappropriately.
Right. Feel like
So
a
I
betrayal.
definitely, I definitely felt some type of way about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
I didn't feel, I felt like I was disregarded almost. You know what I mean?
Mm. Yeah.
And
It felt
I
a
also
betrayal.
wanted to, what'd you say?
I said, did it kind of feel like a betrayal?
Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
it did. It did. And you know what's so funny is the only person that actually did something about it is the toxic person that I don't want anything to do with now.
Mm.
That's
Wow.
what was so crazy. But I did also want to talk to you about how you think the family should handle these type of situations so that they're not sweeping them under the rug. Because I have a cousin that was molested, by one of our family members, and to this day, I still truly don't think she's healed from that,
Mm.
Brandon. Like I still feel like her inner child is still suffering from that because she hasn't been healed. I really don't feel like she knows how to deal with it. And she carries around a lot of anger, like you said, how
Right.
men carry around a lot of anger. She carries around a lot of anger. So, how are there any methods or any steps, or before we get into the methods or steps, how do you think, you know, a parent or the family should address these situations?
Um. Honestly, any means necessary that you see fit,
Hmm.
like I think it should be taken very seriously because on a spiritual level, I found out that a lot of children who get touched on or raped, they call those indigo children. And
Mm.
they're very powerful. And the spirit or the
Hmm.
entity that
Hmm.
molests or rapes children,
Hmm.
that's their method of harnessing some of their power. You see what I'm saying?
Mm.
Getting to the spiritual realm. So I definitely feel like it should be addressed immediately. Like for one, you need to let your child know that mommy has your back or daddy has your back, and I will
Right.
never let anybody harm you. Now, I don't really want to say the way I would respond to something like that might not be how everybody, because I'm gonna respond with violence. I'm just gonna be honest. It's gonna be violence, but I'm not telling anybody else to do that. But
Right.
I'm just being honest. So but I definitely think that you should remove that person. I don't think no matter whether that person is an uncle, an auntie,
Mm-hmm.
a brother, like you need to get that person away from your child.
Right.
Period.
Right.
And I know that's easier said than done because sometimes the person that touched you could have been an older sibling. The person
Right.
that touched you could have been an aunt or an uncle or somebody you. It usually comes from somebody you trust.
Right.
See what I'm saying? So
Right.
but that's absolutely that's absolutely positively not gonna be stood for under
Mm-mm.
any circumstances.
Right.
So whatever you have to do
Mm-hmm.
to make sure your child feels like you protected them properly,
Mm-hmm.
do that. Whether
Right.
that's kicking that person, like removing that person from your life, or
Mm-hmm.
cutting that person's access to your child. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
that's how I would respond to that.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Um, so when it comes to the methods for the individual that was touched on, or maybe, um, you know, their, their goodies were taken, unfortunately.
Hmm.
What would be some of their beginning steps to get through this situation? Because I know it's very traumatic. I know some people don't even like to even revisit the conversations because it's so
Right.
hurtful.
Right. So that's actually where I like to start. When it comes down to that, I start with going within, going back to that inner child and dealing with
Hmm.
that inner child. Like if you have to cry, if you have to scream, if you have to kick or punch a wall or whatever it is,
Hmm.
do that and deal with
Right.
that. Because oftentimes when children are touched, they
Hmm.
end up growing into being hypersexual adults. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
That's usually the life
Mm-hmm.
they lead to. So I always start with that. Now, for a man,
Uh-huh.
my my method would be practicing. For one, you need to stop watching porn or cut
Right.
down tremendously on your consumption of porn
Right.
and change your environments and the
Mm-hmm.
people that you hang around. Because I'm speaking for young boys and men right now. So
Yes.
how I grew up,
Mm-hmm.
I grew up around a lot of older cats who was sending me basically at older women. They were always constantly teasing me about still being a virgin. It was always, you ain't got none yet. It was always,
Mm-hmm.
oh man, go talk to her, go talk to her.
Mm-hmm.
And I get what they was trying to do. I'm not faulting them, but what that does is most boys are taught that our value comes from having a woman or the quality of woman that you have. So the finer the woman is, you feel like the man. You see what I'm saying? And the more women you have, you feel
Mm-hmm.
like the man. So we're taught to just chase, chase, chase. We're not taught to really cherish a woman or court a woman properly. We're
Right.
not taught the valuable. We're not taught. I'll tell you a quick story.
Oh yeah.
Um, the woman I lost my virginity to,
Mm-hmm.
I did not like her at all. She had a crush
Mm.
on me, and she was actually what they would consider the neighborhood hoe. Just being honest.
Gotcha.
That's what the guys in the neighborhood was considering her because she was she was fast. Um,
Right.
so she had a crush on me, and I didn't like her obviously, but my homeboys they was like, man, just do it. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? You a virgin, just do it. And
Right.
but what we don't realize is that just because she might be, or we might call her the neighborhood hoe or whatever like that, she's still a human being. She has feelings.
Right.
It's not right for you to take advantage of her or use her for personal gain just
Mm-hmm.
because you think that she's the neighborhood hoe. You see what
Right.
I'm saying? So,
Mm-hmm.
but they was actually leading me on to do that. Like, yeah, do that. So that's one. But um, just making sure you changing your environments and the people you hang around because we get peer pressure even as adults. You
Yeah.
know, a 30-year-old man, his homeboys, um, yeah, man, I got more women than you, or my chick better than yours, or
Yeah.
whatever. You get peer pressure that's grown men, so
Mm-hmm.
it's just like, man, like you ain't getting none yet. So that's one. Um, letting go of the porn, a lot of
Yes.
porn consumption, and I'm
Distraction.
not, I'm not, I'm not a perfect person, but I'm not saying you can never watch porn again in your life. I'm not. Practice a balance. You want to practice discipline. It's a
Right.
balance. It
Right.
can be beneficial for some things, but you should not be sitting here day in, day out, all day, every day, just constantly consuming porn.
Right.
That's gonna get your mind to think about what you put in your mind is what's gonna come out of your actions.
Exactly.
I'm a firm believer in that. So
Mm-hmm.
that's one. But that's two.
Yep.
And then another great method that I learned
Mm-hmm.
was semen retention.
Uh,
So
can you go into that a little bit?
this is a very deep topic and one of my
It
favorite
is.
topics.
It is.
So so it has a lot of benefits. A few of the benefits of semen retention, it actually increases your sex drive. It actually strengthens your sperm. It actually boosts your physical capabilities because there's like I don't think people always notice or pay it any attention,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a reason why boxers before they have a fight they say don't have no sex, don't
Because it
ejaculate.
weakens them.
Right.
Right.
As men, our semen is our life force energy. And that's
Yes.
literally what it means. And if you can't wrap your mind around the concept, we literally use this to create babies.
Yes.
So that's life force energy. You're bringing life into the
Mm-hmm.
world. So our
Mm-hmm.
semen actually starts in your brain and it travels down your spine into your testicles and it flows through the system like that. So
Wow.
when you retain your semen, it's
Mm-hmm.
traveling back up those neural pathways. It's traveling just you just harnessing all that energy. And example I like to use is that oftentimes after we ejaculate, what we do, we want to go to sleep. We get tired.
Right. You be tired.
Yeah, you want to go to sleep. So
Mm-hmm.
when imagine how much energy you harnessing when you holding on to it.
Right.
Like they say ejaculating once is the equivalent to running like a mile. See what I'm saying?
Really.
So it's like when you start holding on to that,
Mm-hmm.
you really gonna see your physical capabilities. Like my first time ever trying it,
Mm-hmm.
uh the first time I actually had, and of course after that, I'll probably I know the fellas gonna like this. So I practiced semen retention the very first time I practiced it,
Mm-hmm.
probably for about 3 or 4 weeks.
Okay.
And the first time I was with my lady after that,
Mm-hmm.
she we probably it probably lasted for 2 hours, and
Wow.
I she ended up falling asleep. I didn't ejaculate once. She had multiple orgasms. I didn't ejaculate once, and I still had energy afterwards. Like I was still up.
Oh wow.
So that's just
Wow.
showing some of the benefits of it. And
Well, that's an
I,
extreme benefit.
right, and I know everybody. I'm not no doctor or nothing. I'm just speaking from my own experience. Like this is what I actually have done in real life. So I can only speak from my experience. I know everybody's body is different, but that's what it did for me. So that's a
That's
really great.
amazing.
Another method I'm gonna drop on y'all is refocusing your time and your energy towards other things. So whether that be
Mm-hmm.
reading, whether that
Yes.
working on a business,
Mm-hmm.
when you're busy, for one, I'm gonna say this: be purpose driven. Everything you do
Yes.
have a purpose because when you purpose driven,
Mm-hmm.
that's showing discipline. You're gonna automatically cut certain things out because you don't have time for it because your purpose is too great. So if you have a goal or something you're trying to reach, you can be like, well,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna put the TV down. I'm gonna put the porn down. I'm gonna put,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I'm not gonna chase women as much because it takes a lot of energy to chase women,
Yeah.
especially
It's,
multiple women. It takes
right.
time, energy, money, uh, preparation. It takes all that stuff because it's if you're dealing with multiple women, you want
Mm-hmm.
to give these women a personalized experience.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna take all. Say if you're dating 3 women, you're not gonna take all of them to the same restaurants and do the same things, and have the same conversations because they like different things.
Right.
That's a full time job. But if you say, "Hey, I'm gonna chill on the women for right now,"
Mm-hmm.
what people don't realize is this: it's like reverse psychology. When you actually focused on your purpose, you're gonna attract more women. You're going to attract more women like men who are purpose driven.
Mm-hmm.
They like a man with a plan. I
Yes.
know in today's society, the term alpha male gets a bad connotation or a negative stigma because what we see as the people call themselves alpha males are not a real
Mm-hmm.
example of what an alpha male is. An alpha male does not have to tell you that he's an alpha male. You're going
Right.
to be able to sense it in his energy.
Right.
So when you have business to take care of and things to handle and goals you're trying to reach, you're going to
Mm-hmm.
automatically cut off the dead weight. You're
Right.
going to automatically make less time for things that don't serve you and make more time for the things that's gonna get you closer to your purpose. I mean, closer to your goal faster.
Right.
So those are the few of the methods I would say just to get you started. Just have some type. I don't care if it's the you want to finish school. I don't
Mm-hmm.
care if it's you want to write a book or start a business or whatever it is. When you have a clear and concise goal of what you want to do, you're just gonna automatically just make less time for other things.
Right. Right. I agree with that because I know for me, I was supposed to go to a birthday party and I wanted to go to it, right?
Right.
But it was my auntie's birthday party and I
Hmm.
wanted to go to support her, but I had to record my YouTube video, I had to edit it, I had to
Yeah.
upload it, I had to do all the things. And I was just like, Mom, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. And then I had class on top of it. My
Mm.
class ended up getting pushed back
Right.
around the time of the party. So I was like, man, I got too much stuff to do and I'm not missing class.
Yeah.
So I definitely get what you're saying. I don't have a lot of time to do anything. Like I mean, I give myself my time. You know, we all need our
Mm,
me time, but I definitely agree with you. When you're focused, you don't really have no time for nothing that's not pushing you forward.
right. That's another important thing as well. Make sure you have people around you that respect your time.
Mm-hmm.
Because, for example, right, um, I mean, clearly I'm a truck driver, so the job that I have, it takes me away from people. So people don't really have access to me,
Right.
um, how they usually will. Like if I'm at home, people can they can contact me. Oh, I need you to do this for me. I need you to do that for me.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really got access to me like that.
Right.
I'm thousands of miles away. But when you have people around you that respect whatever it is you're trying to do, they're gonna be like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, well, she's working on this right now. I'm not gonna bother her, or
Right.
he's doing this right now. I'm not gonna. You know what I'm saying? That's important as well. Just having people around you that align with you. It could be
Yeah.
you. It could
Most
be
definitely.
somebody you've been friends with since y'all was children, but y'all kind of just grew apart and they don't really
Mm-hmm.
understand your lifestyle. So I'm not gonna say cut them off. You know what I'm saying? But you might have to just cut ties. Like not cut ties, but spend less time with them because I have friends right now and
Mm-hmm.
no bad shame to them, nothing. But it's like my goals is kind of different from theirs. So it's
Right.
like if I see you when I can
Right.
make time, but
Mm-hmm.
I can't spend all my time with you because that's gonna hinder me from reaching my goals.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. For sure. My coach has sent me something where a man on a podcast said that his dad always told him this when he was a young man, a young boy. And he was like, son, if your friends ain't talking about reaching goals, if they don't have dreams that they want to accomplish, then you need to find you a new circle. Because if y'all all ain't trying to strive for, higher goals,
Mhm.
success all together, then they're going to hate on your ideas. They're going to hate on what you're doing because they don't understand. They don't have nothing they're looking forward to accomplishing. So you always want to be around, like you said, like minded people.
Yep, yep.
That's going to help you stay on the right path and not, you know, make you go down the wrong lane.
Mm-hmm. That hate is very real, and that is something that I have dealt with personally.
Mm-hmm.
And it just people you never know about people. It can be people that you. It's usually people that you're close to. Like betrayal never comes from a stranger, or
Okay.
you know what I'm saying. So uh, people look at it like it's a good thing to be the most successful one in they group of friends, or the smartest or the most intelligent, and that's actually not a good thing because there's no growth there. Your circle can't teach you anything. They can't like if I'm an entrepreneur, and it's not to shame nobody, but if I'm an entrepreneur
Mm-hmm.
and I have a inventory issue, and none
Mm-hmm.
of my friends are entrepreneurs, they work for somebody, and I'm like, man, I'm having this inventory problem. I can't get advice from you because you don't understand. You
Right.
don't know what it's like. You can't
Right.
tell different methods of well, I use this service. I use this service. You can't tell me that because you don't live my same lifestyle. So it's very important to have like-minded individuals around you. And I want to get around more entrepreneurs because that's where I'm striving to be.
Right. Right. Absolutely. I agree with you. I agree with you. So, in your book, I'm just thinking with my D, is
Hmm.
there um, anything in there that you would like to read us, or is there any parts that you want to talk about inside of the book?
Um, One thing. So I don't have any physical copies. It's really actually pre-orders right now. So I don't have any physical. It's all pre-orders, but
Okay.
um, it is an ebook and a physical. Well, when I get physical copies, it will be an ebook and a physical copy.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I will pull up something for y'all.
Okay.
As a
Sweet.
matter of fact, I actually remember it without even pulling it up,
Okay.
but I'm still gonna show y'all anyway, just so that y'all can see. It's on my laptop. So I'm just gonna show it. This
Okay.
is the cover. If y'all can see that,
Yes. I can
I
see
know
the
it's
abs and the boxers.
yeah. And that's like I want to say this like oh, hold on, I clicked on something. It made the color change. That ain't how it's supposed to look. Okay, this'll probably show it better now. Right,
I think I still seen it that way.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just want to say this real quick. Everything I did as far as marketing was very intentional with this book. The name was intentional. The cover was intentional. The guy on the front with the gray sweatpants was very intentional. That was
Got
very
you like,
intentional.
woo.
I wanted to grab your attention. You see what I'm saying?
Oh
But
yeah. It's definitely an
um
attention grabber.
um it's a lot of life lessons in here, not just even about sexuality, but just
Hmm.
about being a man in general, things that I've learned on my journey. And I found one thing that a lot of men do in
Hmm.
today's society. We put a lot of blame on women for certain things, and I feel like that's a level. It takes a level of accountability. It's not to say that
Oh
the
yeah.
woman is always right in the situation,
Right.
but I like accountability. So
Hmm.
I tend to figure out what could I have done differently to make the situation turn out better, even if
Right.
it's just for next time. So,
Right.
for example, right,
Hmm.
a lot of men have problems with their baby mothers. Oh, she don't let me see my
Facts.
child. She doesn't let me do the things I want to do with my child. Okay, so it's like one, we still have to understand we're dealing with a woman. So
Hmm.
whether y'all together or y'all not. Now, I'm not saying it's right for her to not let you see your child, but if when y'all was together,
Hmm.
you was doing things to hurt her, or you was cheating on her, or you was doing whatever, somewhere deep down inside, she's still in love with you. But now she can't have you, or y'all broken up, or you don't hurt her to a point where she don't even wanna. But she kind of got a bitterness to her now. So it's like she's gonna do what she can to make your life a living hell
Hmm.
because she pictured this fairy tale thing that y'all was supposed to have going on. It didn't work out that way. And this is something I dealt with personally. Like I I have dealt with the certain issues like when me and my baby mother first broke up.
Hmm.
She didn't want me to have another woman. She didn't want me to be with somebody. She still thought we was gonna get back together.
Oh.
And at that point in my mind, I was completely done. But
Mm.
I'm saying all that to say this: it's like when you choose somebody, you have to understand who you choose. You have to be very careful about who you pick. Where you meet a woman at, the behaviors that she exhibits when you meet her, the
Hmm.
the all of that. You have to.
Hmm.
I put it like this, right? If somebody try it, say you walking through the mall, somebody trying to sell you something, you're
Hmm.
gonna be asking a lot of questions. Well,
Right.
what is this product gonna do? How is it gonna benefit me?
Right.
How much does it cost? Like,
Right.
where does it come from? Is it organic? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're gonna be asking a lot of them questions. So
Yes.
we don't do the same. One of the lines I put in here, I say we should be giving these women a rundown the same way their jobs do interviews. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? And
Yes.
another line in here is that I say we should treat our our dicks like a social security number.
I love that. I
We should treat it like a
love
social security.
that. That need to be a shirt. That need
Yeah.
to be a shirt. I
So
love
it's
that.
like you're not gonna give that out to just know anybody,
Okay.
right? But I want to get into deep the deeper important reason why. So one, when
Hmm.
you meet a woman, you can kind of
Yes.
tell what kind of woman she is. You don't know her well, but you can kind of tell what she's into when you by where you meet her from. So if you meet a woman at a club, opposed to a bookstore, you kind
Right.
of. And I'm not saying anything bad about either one of those women, but if you meet a woman at a bookstore, you kind of can tell she like to read. She's probably pretty intelligent. But if you meet at a
Mm-hmm.
club and she's wearing like see-through negligee and she got her nipples poking out and she got her ass cheeks poking out, you kind of can tell like, yeah, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So take accountability for your choice and your role that you
Mm-hmm.
play. Don't always put everything off on her, because oftentimes men, we've like they say women have intuition, but men have it too, right? We know kind of how the roles gonna play out. Majority of the time, a man knows whether or not when he first sees a woman, whether he wants to sleep with her, whether he wants to be with her, whether she's a wife, whether she's a good mother or not. So a lot of times we will see a woman and we get so blinded by her sheer beauty that we'll be like, you know what, I'm just gonna sleep with her. But then that sleeping with her, it sometimes be so good that it might lead to a relationship. But we
Mm-hmm.
know she don't have the emotional stability to deal with it,
Right.
especially for the gods. Like I consider myself a god amongst men. So it's like when you come in with that type of energy, people that's a real energy. People cling to that energy. You see what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So if you expose her to something that she never been exposed to before, no doubt, bro, she's gonna get addicted or become obsessed. So just take accountability with that. Like you can't give yourself away to everybody because everybody cannot. They just simply can't handle it. And when you do, just stand on the decision that you made. You have to be able to say, like, you know what? I knew what I was doing. I knew this was gonna go bad. I knew she was gonna become clingy or obsessed or whatever that was. Her behavior is partially my fault. And I know it kind of sounds crazy saying, well, how can I be kind of accountable for somebody else's actions? You absolutely are, bro. And I'll give you another example, right? So let's say I tell my son this, right? My son only 3 years old. You can do what you want, but you have to be prepared for whatever happens behind that action. So if I see this a random dude in a grocery store, I can choose to go up to him and smack the hell out of him. Now, he might not do anything. He might turn around and smack me back. He might turn around and pull out a knife and stab me. You see what I'm saying? So I can do what I want, but I have to be prepared for whatever comes behind that. And that's why I think a lot of men are lacking. They don't really think about the consequences of their actions before they do it. So
Right.
before we know most of the time when you sleep with a woman, women are emotional creatures. They are nurturers. They're naturally more emotional than us. We can sleep with a woman and be like, okay, well, that was fun, and go on about our day. Women gonna think about, I wonder if he gonna be a good father to my children. I wonder if he gonna do this. They thinking about that. So she's gonna wanna call you. She's gonna wanna be closer to you. So it's like you gotta be very intentional. Even if you telling a woman, you being honest with her, like I just want something casual. Most women know what that means. But just because you tell her that, it does not mean that she's prepared to deal with that. You gotta kind of be the judge of that yourself. So that's a big one. I think that's a real big one.
Yes, I agree with you. I agree with you. Everything has a reaction. Like you
Every
definitely got to hold yourself accountable for sure.
mm,
So I think those were some very good points
yeah,
that you shared.
and like I say, it's all about just moving with more intention, being more intentional, and just being, like I say, a lot of women as young girls, especially women who had their fathers in their life, they're taught to cherish their bodies. We're not taught that. We're taught to sow our royal oats, and it's like, who said this stuff was cool? Like, where did this come from? Like, you know, and it's a way. Like, I want to get into that, right? There is a healthy way to sow your royal oats without it being toxic. Like, for one, being honest about what you want. It's okay for you to want to play right now. Like, it's okay for you to want to date. that is perfectly fine. But you need to lead with that. You need to lead. Don't be leading these women on like you want relationships with them, and then when you sleep with them, and now it's okay. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna ghost her. I'm gonna just not call her back, return her phone calls. That's being dishonest. That's not. That's dishonorable. You see what I'm saying? So it's a right way to do that. Instead of just lying and deceiving women or running game on them or playing them. And game is not a bad thing. I want to say that too. Game is not a bad thing. Um, it's the lying that's wrong because game is simply just a method that you use to attract women. That's it. The way you dress can be your game. The way you wear your hair can be your game. The way you speak can be your game. That's all that is.
I definitely agree. I definitely agree. I like how you put that. I like how you put that. Some really good gems is gonna be in that book.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely
It's
with
gonna be.
everything you just
I'm
shared.
this. I'm speaking this right now. This book is a worldwide bestseller already.
Hey, I know it is. I know
Um,
it is.
and you got it here first on your podcast on your platform. Not I'm saying it already. It's a worldwide bestseller. That's already.
Yes. Yes. I'm so proud of you for creating this book. So
Thank you.
would you say that this book, you're welcome. Would you say that this book is for all ages young
I,
boys?
I would say that. I would say it's for all ages because you can never start too early. Um,
Right.
like I said, and I really want to stress the importance of you can never start too early. Like I said earlier, I was molested when I was 2.
Right.
I was exposed to porn when I was 8. A lot of us wait until our children are 15, 16, 17 to have the birds and the bees talk with them.
Mm,
And by that time, it's too late. They already doing something.
right.
My parents, like I said, my father died when I was 11,
Hmm.
and my mother just either she worked too much or she didn't think it was important. But I never had the sex talk. The first time I had the sex talk was with my older brother when I went to go visit him in prison. And
Mm,
by that time, I was already sexually active.
got
So
you.
when you start early, you control the
Hmm.
narrative.
Right.
So I don't. One thing about me, I'm very transparent with my son. I don't
Hmm.
sugarcoat anything from him. So I tell him right, like when he was 2 years old, I would tell him like, son, this is your penis. Nobody's allowed to touch your penis.
Right.
The only person that's allowed to touch your penis is mommy, daddy, and grandma. Like when he was wearing diapers and stuff. Like
Right.
if anybody else tries to touch you down there, you tell daddy, and
Hmm.
daddy gonna handle it. You see
Right.
what I'm saying? Don't
Hmm.
I don't believe in sugarcoating anything because you lessen the importance of it when you sugarcoat it. They don't really understand. And children are not dumb by any means. They're very
Very
intelligent.
smart. And they
So
catch on quick.
like the other day my son asked me, he said, how you make me? You mix me up? And I was like, yeah, we mixed you up. I just told him where babies come from.
Hey, and he's already asking those questions, so he's curious, you know.
Yeah.
And might as well tell him now than let somebody else tell him, and then it's not the way you want him to be told, or they give him wrong information.
Especially in today's society because kids have things that we didn't have. Kids have smartphones and tablets, so they can go. I'm gonna show you how smart my nephew is. When he was 3 or 4, he had his own tablet or his own phone,
Mm-hmm.
and his mother would get him on like the kids YouTube version, and she had parental blockages on it. This little boy was so smart that he wouldn't go to the app. He would go to Safari and type in YouTube and watch what he wanted to watch. You know,
Wow.
kids are being exposed to stuff at a much more accelerated rate. So you have to get out in front of it because once somebody else exposes your child to something, it's too late for you to control the narrative.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. That's a bar. You said so many bars in this podcast. Man, this was amazing. I know your
Definitely.
book gonna be amazing. I'm gonna have to get it for my son because my son, he's 16, but he still can read it and get a
Yeah,
lot of gems from it.
and it's like it's really a raw. Like I like the rawness of it because I just feel like kids connect better when it's just told. Like I'm not trying to hold your hand and baby you through it. I'm just being raw with you. I'm being real with you because I feel like kids can pick up on when you just trying to tell them something because you don't want them to do something. Or it's like I know for a fact one of these days, like I don't have a daughter yet, but I know when I have a daughter, I know one of these days you're going to want to have sex, and I want you
Mm-hmm.
to be as prepared as possible. So I'm not gonna be like, oh well, don't do this and little boys. No, I'm gonna like, look, sweetheart, I love you, and I'm just gonna keep it raw with you. This is for your protection. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
You, Daddy not gonna be here with you all the time.
Right.
I'm not gonna be able to. Yes, I'm your protector, but I'm not gonna be able to protect you all the time because I'm not gonna physically be around you all the time. The
Right.
same thing. I need you to make great decisions on your own,
Mm-hmm.
and you wouldn't send a person into the jungle with lions and tigers and bears without equipping them with some type of weapon.
Right.
Send your child out into the world without the skills and the game they need to conduct themselves the proper way. At least know when somebody trying to, you know, manipulate them.
Right.
Because it's not a matter of if it's going to happen. It's a matter of when.
When. Right.
So
Right. Absolutely.
what I say about
Absolutely. So did you want to tell the people where they can find you, where they can purchase your book on pre-sale? Because y'all know it's going to be a bestseller worldwide. He just told you, and I agree.
yes, ma'am. So y'all can follow me at I am Peebo De Niro ATL. That's PeBodinero. Tap the link in my bio at ghostlandreads.com, and y'all can pre-order. I'm just thinking with my D, and yeah, y'all can
Awesome.
find me at.
Yes, yes. So did you have anything upcoming? Maybe are you going to have any meet the authors, things like that?
I definitely want to do all that. Like I really want to take my time and really just go through a whole like campaign. Shout out to my editor, my coach actually. His name he goes by the name of Brian Hippolyte.
Mm-hmm.
He was this is my first book I ever wrote. Like I said, I never thought I would be writing a book. My very first book. He was an excellent coach. Um, he was he was really gave me a lot of game when it came out to writing because he was just like, bro, don't think about it, just write it, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna do the hard work for you. I'm gonna if you need to edit something, I'm gonna let you know. So he had me he had me probably rewrite this book 3 times. I was like, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, I
Mm-hmm.
wrote it, and he's like, this is a good skeleton, but you need to add, like, put some meat and potatoes into it. So I wrote it again, and then I came back. He's like, bro, it's not really consistent. It's not really concise. Go back and
Mm-hmm.
try it again. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take my time, and I'm really gonna you know, read through everything and make sure my words are making sense. I don't want to lose people. I don't want it to not be concise and cohesive. So he was a great coach. He was an amazing coach. He helped me with the edits and the formatting and just all. He gave me a lot of great coaching. So, but yeah,
That's amazing.
me and him are gonna be having some lives coming up when it's ready to be printed, and
Okay. I can't wait.
I definitely wanna do more lives on my platform and more podcasts, and I definitely want to do some public signings like when I'm not working. It's kind of crazy because my schedule I be on the road, so it's like I kind of don't really get home as much. But if I however I can work it, I'm gonna
Hmm.
finagle it how I can and just kind of do maybe a pop up, a meet and greet, and maybe even some speaking engagements. I'm speaking English as
Yeah.
well, some speaking engagements.
Absolutely. You the expert now.
Yeah, some
You
speaking. I
got
want
once you
to.
get a book, hey, you can become a speaker now. So
Yeah,
me and you in the same boat.
definitely.
Yep.
But yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to take it as far as it's gonna go. It's just
Hey,
it's
to the
really helping
moon. To the
people. It's
moon.
culture.
Yes, you got this. You got this. I'm super proud of you. Keep being that positive role model to these men because they definitely need it. They definitely need your book because who's teaching that, especially nowadays.
Me.
So, man, definitely push your book. Get on some radio stations, talk about it. Anywhere where there's an outlet, talk about it for
Yeah,
sure.
definitely.
So congratulations again, Brandon,
Thank you.
to your book and your mini sales. I know it's gonna sell out. I know you're gonna have to have so many more copies. I know they're gonna be wanting it everywhere. So kudos to you. Thank you for being here today,
Thank you
sharing
for
your story, sharing why you created the book. I really admire your story. I admire you, and I love what you're doing.
thank you. I appreciate you bringing me on this platform. And I wanna say this. I don't even know if y'all was able to tell, but this is my first time being on the podcast. I was kind of nervous.
I couldn't tell. You did great.
Yeah, I was rehearsing and practicing before. Like I was before you brought me on. I was practicing my elevator speak, my elevator pitch. I was,
You didn't need to. You did great. You did great. It was very nice having you here today on
I,
the Naturally Yours podcast.
and I'll be looking forward to coming back.
Yeah. When you publish your book, make sure you come back.
Yes, ma'am. Most definitely.
All right, y'all. So that was my episode with Brandon Gholston, our new up and coming sold out author. Make sure y'all pre-sale his book. Order it for your sons, for your brothers, for your cousins. All men need this book. So thank you again, Brandon, for being here. And we are out of here. I'm Tide Natural, and thank you for listening. We out. Peace.